for new episodes. Hey, welcome to That Shit Was Poetic, where we touch on all things poetic, like music, poetry, art, movies, quotes, and famous poets. I'm your host, Nikki. So I'm back on another Friday. Hope you all had a good week. It's Friday. And guess what? The good thing about this Friday is, yes, you get to catch this vibe with me. Catch this vibe Fridays. That's what's up. I would like to take a moment to pray for Breonna Taylor's family and those around the world. Breonna Taylor was not given her due justice, and it's really hurtful, because it's like a reminder constantly that Black lives do not matter in this country. And, we keep getting that reminder. So pray for her family because I know they're going through it right now. And, I don't even know how I would feel, in that situation. So I'm sending all of my love and my prayers and everything over to them. So I've missed a few episodes, and one of the reasons why I missed a few episodes is because the audio on this platform is, I don't know if they're doing updates or whatever, but I'm noticing like the noise in the background as I'm recording. And I know sometimes I have background noise and I try to limit that, but for some reason I believe it has to do with the platform and these updates that they're doing, and it's really starting to be annoying. But I did not want to miss another episode, so bear with me, guys. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's start off with the drama that's going on in the hip hop and entertainment industry. This Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez situation. I'm just so upset about the whole situation. We only got Meg's side of the story. We never got Tory Lanez's side of the story until now. He dropped this album and he's alleging that Meg Thee Stallion lied about him shooting her in the foot. And I am not a fan of Tory Lanez. Like, I don't listen to his music, but seeing all the internet blogs and everything just go in about, him saying that he wasn't responsible for the situation, and how he had a crush on Kylie. Like, it just goes to show, Black men, y'all gotta step up and start taking care of these Black women. Like, I'm all for a man speaking their truth, understand me, but I am pretty sure he's aware of everything that's going on in the world. I'm pretty sure he knows how it would look for him to, praise a white woman, but also put a Black woman down. Like, if your truth is your truth, put your truth out there. Understand me? Put your truth out there. It's your side. We weren't there. The public wasn't there. But at the same time, you have to know what context to speak in. And that's all I'm going to say about the situation. Then we have so many celebrity people getting divorced. We got Cardi B and Offset. We have Ray J and Princess Love, which we all saw that coming for a very long time. I just want to say, I hope they all figure it out, and I really do. We do need more Black people in marriages, but in healthy marriages. So I really hope that they all figure it out, maybe get counseling, family counseling so that they can figure it out for the children, because in both relationships they have children, and it's never a good situation, when two parents are not getting along. So I really do hope that for the kids' sake, they figure it out. So, how do you feel about someone putting your sexual history, if you guys were in a relationship, out for the public to hear, like on air or anything like that? How would you feel about that? I don't know how I would feel. I really don't. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. But let me tell y'all, so the brat was in conversation with Candy, and she basically talked about how, her and Allen Iverson were in a relationship, and how, the nice things that he bought her when they were in a relationship, how he used to fly her out, how she used to jack him off in the morning, doing the things that he liked, cooking him breakfast. And, it got real detailed. I'm just saying, when you put a name to it, dynamic changes. I don't know how I would feel about it. I don't know if I like that. To me, I felt like it was a little too much. You can talk about situations in your past, and I really don't know what type of relationship they have. Maybe he gave her permission to discuss this topic, but you could talk about situations in your past and, sexual history on air. But for me, when you put a name to it, now you have a face. Now the public knows exactly who you're talking about. And see, I never knew that she even dated men. Never heard of her dating any man, not once, for me. I don't know about you listeners, but I know I never heard about her dating any man. I've seen her, doll up, jazz up, but I never heard her, them saying that she dated men. And I always thought she was a lesbian anyway, in my mind. And when she finally came out, it was kind of confirmed. So to hear her talk about with Candy on air about a previous sexual relationship and actual relationship that she had with what was his name? Allen Iverson. I believe that was his name. And to talk about it was kind of like, where's this coming from? So I used to wake up and pick his clothes out and cook breakfast and when he woke up in the morning, the things he liked, just made sure he was happy. And he spoiled me and made sure I was happy. Like, I was like, this is amazing. Like, I was like. So for me, like, I really don't even know what to think. You know what I'm saying? Once you put that name to the person, it's like, okay, you really put my business out there now? But like I said, I don't know what type of relationship they have. Um, they may have a cool relationship where it's like, you could talk about it. It's cool. I know she's in a relationship now with the real BB Judy. She does hair oils and hair care line and things like that. So they may have a cool relationship. I guess it probably all isn't fun. But for me, I don't like that. So speaking of sex, how do you guys feel about S&M? I'm going to keep it a little vanilla for you today. I know you're not used to hearing this type of conversation on That Shit Was Poetic, but I think, it's okay. We're all grown adults and we can talk about a little bit more riskier things on this podcast. I mean, we have erotic poems, which I'm going to read today for you guys. Um, so I think we can open up the conversation, to other topics more than just love and trust and relationships and men and women, and we can start talking about different things on this podcast. I mean, It's that shit was poetic. Like, come on. And besides, I think my listeners will enjoy this topic anyway. You let me know.
That Shit Was Poetic has merch, guys. If you're excited as I am, please head over to thatshitwaspoetic.storeenvy.com. That's STORENVY.com and grab our 11-ounce mug. If you're a coffee or tea drinker, listen to our podcast and sip your favorite beverage. If you love this podcast, please support our merch.
Grab her, harder, more confidently. What are you waiting for? Permission? It's too damn late. Pull her in, then push her against the wall. Grab the back of her hair and kiss her like you might fucking die without the right amount of passion. That's it. Stop searching for the right words or timing and take her to the limit. Because that feeling in that moment, that's poetry, and no other words can do her justice. That's a poem by Jay Raymond. So basically, it's when a person receives sexual pleasure from inflicting or receiving physical pain on a person. I want to know how you guys feel about that type of stuff. Like, what level do you go to in the bedroom? Do you like being tied up, chained up, handcuffs? Do you like whips? Do you like chains? Do you like spankings, grabbing necks? All those different things. What level are you? Are you a little bit more vanilla, or do you like to be a little bit more risque? I believe I am somewhere in the middle. I don't know if I really like spankings or anything. I've never really had that type of stuff done to me, but I don't believe I would enjoy it, especially if it's starting to hurt. Like, come on, fall back. Like, I'm ready to fight. So I don't know if I really would enjoy those type of things. I can say I do. I can dabble in, maybe some handcuffs, tie up type stuff. Don't do me with no spankings or anything like that. Don't do me with trying to tie me up sadistically, if that's even a word. Tying my feet up and tying my hands up. I ain't into all that shit. But, I believe I'm somewhere in the middle where I can dabble in a little bit more risky things and enjoy it. I just don't want to be harmed during the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're taking me to another place. Can you even tell your partner, like, let's say you did enjoy S&M or, those other sexual things and names that are out there. Like, if y'all don't dabble into those types of things, like, how would you introduce that into your relationship? How do you talk to your partner about it? Would you be embarrassed to tell your partner, that you enjoy those types of things? Because there's plenty of things out there. There's like I said, S&M. There's pegging. There is, I don't want to mess this name up, man. God, I really want to tell you guys, but I don't know how to pronounce it. And like I said, these names are crazy. I think if couples started introducing more variety into their sex life, things would be a little bit better. And when I say things, I'm talking about sex life only. And I'm not tapping into, other parts of the relationship. I'm talking about sex life only. I think, you know, the sex would be better. Issues within, sex would be better. You should feel comfortable with talking to your partner about anything when it comes to your sexual, life. Like, y'all should be comfortable enough. If y'all are at that level where you're sharing your bodies with each other, you should be able to be comfortable enough to talk to them about the things that pleasure you. And don't get me wrong, sometimes you may share something that you like with a partner and they may not be into it, or they may look at you like you're crazy. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like, if that's your partner, those are the things that you like, y'all should be able to communicate with each other. You shouldn't be looking down on one another for, the things that they like. Now, you may not be into it. Now, that's a different conversation. You may not be into it, and, then you can just say, I'm not into it. Or if they maybe share with you, like, I don't want to continue this on if we can't try this. And then you can say, okay, well, I don't want to be a part of this. So then it may be time for you to part ways. Or it may be time for you to figure out ways to come together. So you never really know, um, when you're introducing something to your partner, how they're going to respond or react. But I think at the end of the day, like I said, you either realize like you're for each other, or it's time for you to part ways. Um, but I definitely know if it's something that's like, you're totally against, and you're letting your partner know, I'm totally against that, and they can't compromise, part ways, you know, especially if it's something to do with harming someone or something. Like, we're not about to do that. you know if it's some, you into, child pornography, or you're into, all those crazy things out there. We're not about to do those things. So definitely part ways if your partner is into those types of things. But if it's something you can compromise on, I think it's pretty much okay. And another thing, I'm interested in learning from my listeners is, if you had a sexual partner and, let's just say the sex was bad, how could you teach them or tell them without hurting their ego? I know for men, they have huge egos when it comes to, their penis. And if you tell them the sex was bad, like, that can really hurt their ego. Um, yeah, so how would you go about telling your guy, the sex was bad, or they need to work? Like, how could you teach them? Would you be able to teach them? I talked a little bit about this on my Poetic Shit Thursdays. So I thought I would introduce this conversation over here. But, how would you be able to talk to them about it, you know, without hurting their ego? So basically, can you teach a man to have sex better without hurting their ego? I would say, if y'all have great communication within the relationship, I believe you can communicate about it, and you can, try to tell them ways that would pleasure you, and vice versa. A man can tell a woman the things that he likes that will pleasure him without hurting a person's ego. But I know how men are when it comes to their private parts and, their sex life and their status. Their ego can really be hurt in the smallest way. This is a poem by A.D. Woods. Touch her in all ways non physical. Give her intellectual orgasms in multiples, and allow temptation to drip from her ears. Go down on her thoughts and taste her perception. Learn her soul, and she will fill the void of your filthiest imaginations. Never start with the hands. I thought that was a cute poem. talking about how to mentally get into a woman's mind sexually. I thought that was really cute.
If you are not registered to vote, please do your due diligence and preparing yourself to go vote. I know they're trying to have everyone try this mail-in voting due to COVID, but please find out your local voters' offices and go physically vote. October 4th is winding down. I believe that's probably the latest that you can register to vote. So let's get this done. We got to vote, man. And we got to vote on Congress. We got to vote on the president. We need to vote on everything, not just the president. Okay? So let's handle our business, people. So thanks for tuning in to That Shit Was Poetic. I'm your host, Nikki, and tune in every Friday for new episodes. To check out our old episodes, follow That Shit Was Poetic on all streaming services, Spotify, Google, or download the Anchor app to listen and leave a comment or voice message. To be featured in our podcast, email thatshitwaspoetic@gmail.com or follow us on IG, That Shit Was Poetic, and DM us. Thank you for tuning in.